In fact, before I rope in Commander Bhushan Dewan into this discussion again, I want to bring our attention of the viewers to another facet of this interview, which was how Pakistan responded. We are looking at how there was a constitutional change that happened in Pakistan, and General Chauhan states that maybe Pakistan was drawing hard lessons from Operation Sindoor, and the constitutional change was evidently intended to address deficiencies in its higher defense organizations, because we are talking about how a chief of defense forces appointment was created. There was abolishment of the office of the chairman, joint chiefs of staff committee, and this clearly indicated how Pakistan itself concluded that the earlier arrangements that they had not functioned effectively. And let's compare that to how India is right now. Let's compare it to the post of the CDS in India. And he stated right at the beginning of this interview that he had no idea, firstly, that he would be appointed as the CDS. So he had to begin by learning on the job. And therefore, he said that now, after he's completed his tenure, the office of the CDS is now institutionalized, and not merely within the Ministry of Defense or the armed forces, but also in the consciousness of the nation. And that's very important, because the nation has to know who is leading at the front. And he said that today the CDS is no longer regarded merely as an additional layer or an evolving overlay. It has an acquired identity, a purpose, and an institutional permanence within India's national security architecture. I want to understand from Commander Bhushan Dewan, sir, how important do you think is this institutionalization of the process of the post of the CDS? Because we looked at Pakistan, they didn't seem to have proper hierarchy. They got in a constitutional amendment in place, they abolished certain posts, they created the Chief of Defence Staff over there as well. And India seems to have institutionalized that post. There's a very example that General Chauhan in fact mentioned when he was traveling. People, youngsters referred to him as CDS Sahab, not as General Chauhan, as CDS Sahab. So he said that this is something that has been institutionalized in the consciousness of the nation as well. And that's what makes a difference between India and Pakistan.
Thank you, Shivani. I frankly, with due respect to any view, I do not want to say that we in India, I mean, I have to see with respect to where do we stand with respect to Pakistan. Period. And absolutely. Second thing is, I want to tell you that, to my mind, the political, the tussle of political one-upmanship in Pakistan, where armies and armed forces are in command, effectively, democracy is only in name. Within that armed forces, there is a tussle between the Army, Navy, Air Force. So this, I see this constitutional amendment in Pakistan, maybe they have touted it as necessitated by their skirmish with India via Op Sindoor. But I think it is more than that. It is for the establishment of institutionalization of the permanent numero uno position of the Chief of the Army Staff, in this case Field Marshal Asim Munir. Nothing more than that. That doesn't mean integration is not required by India. Certainly it has come. It's come late. Like technology, similarly organization structure has come late to my mind. And I think teething troubles will remain. You start the integration today, you start after 10 years. It will remain. It has remained. So earlier the better. As they said, journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. So earlier the step is taken, better it is, things will fall into place. Absolutely. Our Kali Mata has got so many weapons in its hands. So single brain controls. With this enemy, do I use sword? With that enemy, same time. Network warfare. Do I use mace and whatever? Do I use knife? And so on. So this is integration to my mind. Absolutely. Yes, Army, Navy, Air Force specialization is required. You have to be master in your trade, in your art. but at the same time, the issue is finally when you fight the single brain, and that is what integrated command is all about. Takes time because we are used to. It's like we have a story. The head starts asking in case of snake, what is tail doing here? And tail says, what is head doing? You know those fights, the like Panchatantra tails kind of thing. So integration is a must.
Absolutely.
But the point, and so we're really going forward nicely. But look at China. I mean, they're quite well up on this already. So we are not one day late. And I think regarding, though you didn't ask me about Agniveer aspect, if you allow me,
please, sir, I would love to hear your perspective on it as well.
My respected co-panelists from the Army and the Air Force will bear with me that Indian Navy as a service, it is not a question of making a one-upmanship statement. As a service had started in indigenization and warship design bureau 30, 40 years back. We have also within our Indian Navy, we have a system integration development, very strong track record, a very strong ecosystem where you have scientists also being hired in the naval organization, uniformed officers also. I myself did MTech from IIT Delhi, part of that, technology upgradation of the project. The point I'm making is,
right,
only the user knows where the shoe pinches. So however much you can explain to the scientists, but if you can do it yourself, not fully, you're the best judge. You are on top of things. You know how it is happening also. What
Absolutely.
you want, and you also know how it's happening. And now what is happening, and another thing about Navy, I'm sure same thing is true about Air Force also. Platform like aircraft, platform like Navy is like a ship, a warship is like a mini fort. Electrical generation, propulsion, radars, sonar, ears, eyes, weapons, command systems. So this integration is the crux of the matter in the Indian Navy.
And especially the man behind the machine, sir. So let's take that segment because we are really short on time. But in an ITV network exclusive former CDS General Anil Chauhan is explained why younger, technologically comfortable soldiers are becoming increasingly important for the armed forces. He said that drones, counter-drone systems, spoofing and communications disruptions have rapidly changed the battlefield. Let's take a further look at what the former CDS has told NewsX and the Sunday Guardian on this particular aspect as well. So let's look at what he stated specifically about Agniveers, because he has said that fundamentally he believes that it is a good model, and the central issue is the accelerating pace of the technological change. So he's talked about how technology is evolving at a rapid pace, and that's the central issue in this entire Agniveer program. He's also said that we need soldiers who are young, who are technologically comfortable and capable of constantly adapting, and hence he is in fact saying that in theory, this is a good model. Let me get in a word from General Sudhakarji on this. General Sudhakarji, I want your word on the role of Agniveers, because this has been the talk of discussions over the last few months as well. In October, we will see the first Agniveers may be looking to get out of the service, and that's raised a lot of questions. We are seeing a lot of discussions on that front as well. The former CDS believes that it is theoretically a good model, but we need to keep pace with the technological change. What do you have to say on this, General?
It's very ironical that the question is coming to me, because I am a strong. I've been contesting the very decision of Agniveer right from day one in your channel. It is not first time. For past 4 years, I think I am very vocal. Even now also I maintain it's a lopsided decision. You don't climb a tree from the top. Anything that you introduce, the tree has to be climbed from the bottom. Okay, and that's there are things called a parachuters and grassrooters. You want to become a parachuter, you come and land and break your leg. You want to become a grassrooter, then you are growing from the soil of the earth and you become stronger and stronger. So abruptly, out of the blue, suddenly something comes and you introduce 4 years of entry, Agniveer, technology or not. Technology is a futuristic paradigm which must be considered in a holistic manner. You don't overnight decide something and next day start implementing, whole country goes into fire, and that's not the way. I personally feel even now there is time to actually go over it. I know the CDS, personally know him. I admire and respect him. He is the most deserving and competent leader to lead the armed forces. But over here, I would advise the CDS to think it over. Let's not unnecessarily toe the line of the government. Government of India doesn't understand the requirement on the ground. When you talk about the technology, technology requires continuity of the people, the expertise. You are on one hand introducing state of the art the technology, and the other hand you are discontinuing the service after 4 years. 4 years as it is effectively is available for 2 years only.
Okay.
So therefore, technology requires continuity. It requires consistent training.
All right.
And when Agniveer thing like was introduced, it should have been a coherent and consistent strategy of the Indian armed forces that would have come into existence, provided there was a national security strategy document.
All right.
Unfortunately, Shivani, we don't have a document. If next time you have to actually anchor the topic, start with the national security strategy. Back to you, please.
Absolutely, General. I apologize for interrupting you there, but unfortunately, we're running out of time. I thank you, General Sudhakarji, and my other panelists, Air Commodore Sanjeev Mendiratta and Commander Bhushan Devan, for joining us on this very special broadcast. With that, viewers, we are slipping into a very short commercial.